Hi, this is your host Tendai, and welcome back to the African Cinema Podcast. Today's topic will be on the vibrant world of FESPACO, the Pan-African Film and Television Festival of Ouagadougou. This festival isn't just a gathering of filmmakers, it's a celebration of African storytelling, culture, and resilience. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the festival that beats at the heart of African cinema. Now, FESPACO was founded in 1969 and has grown into the premier event for African filmmakers, offering a platform for showcasing the continent's diverse cinematic talent. It all began with a simple vision: to create a space where African filmmakers could present their stories, free from the overshadowing influence of Western cinema. The festival takes place biennially in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, and has been a cornerstone for many filmmakers who seek to share their unique narratives with the world. From its humble beginnings, FESPACO has blossomed into a major cultural event, attracting participants from across Africa and beyond. The festival's mission is clear: to promote and honor the best in African cinema while fostering an understanding of African cultures and histories. Now, let's rewind back to the late 1960s. The political landscape of Africa was transforming. This is the beginning of post-colonial Africa. A lot of countries are gaining their independence and sort of finding their baby steps into developing their own identity. This period of change sparked a renaissance in African arts and culture. A group of visionary filmmakers and cultural enthusiasts in Burkina Faso, led by the country's first president, Maurice Yamego, saw an opportunity. They wanted to create a platform that would not only celebrate African cinema but also provide a space for critical reflection and dialogue. In its inaugural year, FESPACO showcased 23 films from 9 African countries. It was a modest start, but the festivals quickly gained momentum. Over the years, it has grown exponentially, now featuring hundreds of films from across the continent. The festival's program includes a variety of genres and formats, from feature films and documentaries to short films and television series. And as we delve deeper, we'll explore how FESPACO has evolved over the years, becoming not just a showcase of films, but a powerful voice in the global cinema landscape. But first, let's take a moment to appreciate the cultural and historical context that shaped its foundation. FESPACO's significance extends beyond the films it showcases. It's a cultural phenomenon that mirrors the socio-political landscapes of the continent. The festival has a platform for political expression, a place where filmmakers can critique and question the status quo through their work. In many ways, FESPACO is a reflection of African cinema itself: bold, diverse, and unafraid to tackle challenging issues. The festival has given rise to numerous award-winning films and directors, such as Soyemane Cisse and Osman Sembene. Sembene, often referred to as the father of African cinema and who was the subject of our previous episode as well, was a frequent participant at FESPACO, using his films to address critical social and political issues. The festival's influence isn't confined to the screen. It plays a pivotal role in shaping the discourse around African identity and representation in media. FESPACO has been a platform where issues of colonialism, post-colonialism, gender, and social justice are openly discussed. It's a space where African filmmakers can express their perspectives and share stories that might otherwise go unheard. For instance, consider the 1997 festival when Budiam by Gaston Kabore won the Etalon de Yenenga. The film, a beautiful portrayal of African folklore and tradition, was more than just a cinematic achievement. It was a statement about the importance of preserving and celebrating African cultural heritage. Kabore's work, like many others showcased at FESPACO, serve as a reminder of the rich tapestry of African stories that are often overshadowed by global cinema's dominant narratives. FESPACO has also faced its share of challenges, from political turmoil in Burkina Faso to financial constraints. Yet, despite these hurdles, the festival has remained resilient, continually adapting and evolving. It's a testament to the unyielding spirit of African filmmakers and their commitment to telling their stories. In a region where political instability can often disrupt cultural activities, FESPACO's persistence is nothing short of remarkable. And maybe focusing a bit more on the tapestry of films and directors that have graced FESPACO over the years, the festival itself has been a launchpad for many groundbreaking films that have left an indelible mark on African cinema. One of the most iconic films to emerge from FESPACO is Yelen, by Malian director Souleymane Cissé. This visually stunning film, which won the festival's top prize, the Etalon de Yenenga, in 1987, is a captivating exploration of power and tradition. The film's narrative, rooted in the mythological and cultural traditions of the Bambara people, offers a unique perspective on the complexities of African societies. Yelen is not just a cinematic masterpiece, it's a cultural artifact that invites viewers to delve deeper into the rich histories and philosophies of West Africa. Another notable mention is Boudiam, as mentioned earlier, by Gaston Kabore, a Burkinabe filmmaker which won the Grand Prize in 1997. The film's rich portrayal of African folklore and storytelling earned critical acclaim. Kabore's work is a testament to the power of cinema to preserve and celebrate cultural heritage. FESPACO has also been a platform for female directors who are reshaping the narrative of African cinema. Directors like Frola Gomez from Guinea-Bissau and Sara Maldoro from Guadeloupe have used the festival to showcase their powerful stories, challenging traditional gender roles and addressing women's issues in their work. Gomez's film Motu Nega, Death Denied, is a poignant exploration of the struggles of African women during the Guinea-Bissau War of Independence. The film's portrayal of female resilience and solidarity is both inspiring and thought-provoking. Similarly, Sara Maldoro's Sambizanga offers a gripping account of the Angolan liberation struggle, highlighting the role of women in the fight against colonial oppression. These films, among many others, underscore the diversity and depth of African cinema. They challenge stereotypes and offer nuanced portrayals of African societies, making FESPACO a critical space for cultural dialogue and exchange. FESPACO's influence extends far beyond the borders of Burkina Faso. The festival has played a pivotal role in elevating African cinema on the global stage, providing a platform for films that might otherwise remain unseen by international audiences. It's not just a celebration of African cinema, it's a crucial cultural exchange that bridges continents and cultures. One of the festival's significant contributions has been its role in challenging and changing perceptions of African cinema in the global context. Historically, African films were often marginalized or misunderstood in the global market, with Western audiences having limited access to authentic African stories. FESPACO has been instrumental in altering this narrative by showcasing the rich diversity and complexity of African cinema. One might also want to argue at this point, I think, that when it comes to the audience itself, so the African who doesn't know much about FESPACO or the African cinema industry's inner workings, some of these films are not readily available to us. More or less, I think there's a very deep gap between the films that we were fed through channels like Africa Magic, through channels like Roku TV, and nowadays, with streaming platforms such as Netflix and all of these also gaining popularity on the continent, there is a sort of shift where most of these films that shaped the underlying base for African cinema are still inaccessible to us. I think one of those issues is kind of what leads to people nowadays writing more with the Western style of writing, because those are readily available and those can be easily studied. So anyone who has access to the internet can watch a Steven Spielberg film, but rarely does that translate for the African landscape. Some of the films pretty much that we've talked about here also have a tendency of not being readily available. I might be wrong on this, but I've tried to look for them, and it was not the easiest of journeys. So unless if you have access to a university library, for example, that has this and that teaches on African cinema, then you will find it difficult to access some of these films. But this is not to take away from FESPACO. I think it does a great job in terms of showing the powers that be that African cinema is a giant in its own right. Okay, but back to it. That can be a whole different episode entirely. The international appreciation of African cinema has grown significantly, in part due to the exposure provided by FESPACO. Now, as I mentioned also just before this, one might put a question mark there. The significance of it, of course, you can never take away from it. But in terms of actual reach within the continent itself, and then looking at the continent within the average African who has maybe a 9 to 8 job, access to some form of entertainment, be it through satellite TV, the likes of DSTV, or be it through YouTube, for example, or Netflix, or Apple TV, or whatever source they have. And that's putting it on the higher side as well. Some of these might not be easily as accessible. I think the festival in itself sort of brings light to these situations as well, because by showcasing it to the powers that be that make stuff readily accessible, then we find a lot of funding, foreign funding at the same time as local funding, going into the development of newer films that sort of reshape the narrative of African cinema. The festival itself has become a key event for international critics, filmmakers, and distributors seeking to discover new voices and stories from the continent. This exposure has led to increased recognition for African filmmakers, with many films screened at FESPACO going on to receive accolades at other prestigious international festivals such as Cannes, Venice, and Toronto. For example, the international success of films like Timbuktu by Abderrahmane Sissako can be traced back to the visibility gained through FESPACO. Timbuktu, which was nominated for an Academy Award, tells the harrowing story of life under jihadist rule in Mali. Its critical acclaim and global recognition underscore the festival's role in bringing African stories to the forefront of global cinema. Furthermore, FESPACO has fostered a sense of pride and identity among African filmmakers and audiences by providing a platform that celebrates African narratives. The festival has encouraged filmmakers to explore stories that reflect their cultures and experiences, and this has led to a renaissance in African cinema, with filmmakers embracing their unique perspectives and telling stories that resonate with both local and international audience. FESPACO's impact extends beyond the films it showcases. It has basically been a catalyst for discussions on the politics of representation and the power of storytelling, among other political denominations that have been mentioned and shown at FESPACO itself. It has challenged stereotypes and highlighted the diversity of African experiences, contributing to a more nuanced and accurate understanding of the continent in global media. Now, as we look at the future of FESPACO, it continues to play a crucial role in shaping the trajectory of African cinema. The festival is not just a reflection of where African cinema has been, but a beacon for where it is heading. With the rise of digital technology and streaming platforms, African filmmakers have more opportunities than ever to reach global audiences. FESPACO is adapting to these changes, incorporating new categories and embracing the digital revolution. The festival's future lies in its ability to continue nurturing new talent and providing a platform for diverse voices. As African cinema continues to evolve, so too will FESPACO. ensuring that it remains at the forefront of cultural and artistic expression. The next generation of filmmakers will undoubtedly bring new stories and perspectives, further enriching the tapestry of African cinema. And to close it off, actually, FESPACO is more than just a film festival. It's a true celebration of African culture, resilience, and creativity. It's a space where filmmakers, audiences, and critics come together to celebrate the power of African storytelling. And as we continue to explore and appreciate the richness of African cinema, FESPACO will remain a vital part of this journey, shining a spotlight on stories that need to be told. And with that, I would like to hear your views as well on FESPACO in terms of maybe if you've been to the festival itself. I know I haven't, but if you've been to the festival itself, how was it? How was the atmosphere? How was everything? Feel free to drop an audio message and we'll post it up on our socials. And thank you for joining me on this journey through FESPACO, its history, its significance, and hopefully its very bright future. And as always, I'm your host Tendai, and this has been the African Cinema Podcast.